There we go. Am I on? Okay, good. Hi, everybody. It's Desiree Stafford, and I am doing a quick little scope with you today about why making money is easy. So, here's the deal. I think making money is easy, specifically if you're a coach, right? There are other businesses out there where making money is hard. I come from a real estate background. I'll just tell you, making money was hard in real estate, right? But I also think that making money is very relative. So, of course, it's going to depend upon the industry that you're in. But I'm going to talk to coaches today. I'm going to talk to people today, other experts who make money or have the ability to make money based on the things that are natural gifts for you, right? These are your natural talents. These are areas where you already have a certain level of expertise in that area, and you're doing a business online. This is easy. I think where the struggle comes in is believing that it has to be hard, believing that you have to work an extraordinary amount to kind of prove your worth, to prove your value, to prove that you deserve to make a lot of money. And I don't think it has to be that way. I think a lot of this is about mindset here. Okay. I will tell you that when I first came into the coaching business a couple years ago, this shit was hard to me. And it was hard because I wouldn't let it be easy. Because I have had so much conditioning that I had to work really hard to make a lot of money, that I had to struggle, that I had to put in years of grit and hustle, right? But now that I'm making good money in my business, I really can take a step back and understand the hard work wasn't the business in and of itself. And sometimes we're adding things into our business that make it feel harder. But the hard work was all up here. It was all in shifting my own beliefs. It was all in allowing myself to receive, because I've always been the kind of person who's taught that you have to give, give, give. I've kind of been a people pleaser. And so for me to shift my mentality, for me to shift my beliefs and start to receive and know that it was okay and that I deserved to make money for the value that I offered, even though me offering that value came so easily to me, that's where the hard work came from. It was the internal struggle. Sometimes it even feels like a war, right? Between the lower level of consciousness that I had when I started my business to where I am now. Like, that was where the work came in. And hi to all of you who are joining. I don't mean to not look at you. So for everyone who's joining, hello, how are you? So yeah, like it is the internal battle that goes on within us. That's where the hard work comes from. It's not in the process in and of itself. Okay. Now, one of my mentors calls people who struggle in their business, he calls them struggle bunnies. And the first time I heard that term, it was kind of like insulted. I laughed at it, but I was like, hey, hold on here. Some of us are working really hard to make 5K a month, 10K a month, 20K a month, right? But the more I've learned to shift my perspective on things, the more I understand my power as an individual to create, the easier it is to attract money into my business. The more I'm willing to step up and be myself, the more I'm willing to, allow for there to be time and space in my business, for me to honor, the value that I offer to my clients. And instead of charging them based on the time that I put in to working with them, to helping them, I'm a business coach. So in the work that I put in to helping them grow their businesses, instead of valuing what I offer based on that and charging by the hour based on that, I value my work based on the result that my clients get. Makes life a lot easier for me. It makes making money a lot easier for me, right? So these are some of the things that you want to consider if making money for you right now seems hard. You want to think about what is the internal resistance that you're feeling? What are the old stories? What are the excuses? What are, the half-truths that you've been telling yourself about why making money is difficult? And if you work through that mindset, that's where you're going to start to see the shift. Now, it's not just about mindset, right? It's also about strategy. Now, there are a lot of people who do things in their business to grow their business that I don't do, right? There are a lot of people, for example, they have a launch model and they work really, really hard, for a couple of weeks to launch a product. And so, yeah, that's a lot of work, right? There's a lot of copywriting. It's a lot of showing up all over the place in social media. It's a lot of energy and effort. And then you're getting partners to support you. And that's a business model that works for some folks. It's not a business model that works for me personally. So I don't do that. So I have a strategy that I use. I definitely do use social media, but I have a strategy for it. I have a plan for it. And it makes my life easy because I've built my business around what works for me. So you need to do that as well. If the business model that you're currently, that you currently have in place does not allow for you to generate money into your business with more ease, then maybe you need to look at that. Maybe you need to look at hiring support if you don't already have support. And if you have support, maybe you need more. Or maybe the support that you have isn't supporting you in the way that you want. So maybe take a look at that area. Another thing that you want to think about is, are you really being yourself? Are you in a business that you love? Are you offering programs that you love? Because when you're not doing those kind of things, it makes running your business feel really, really hard. I can tell you for me, when I wasn't showing up as I am, when I wasn't sharing my true message, when I was not expressing my real voice, when I was offering things that I was not in love with, oh my gosh, it felt like pushing a boulder uphill. It felt like the hardest thing to do ever. And I was hating my business and honestly hating my life. Things shifted for me when I started giving myself permission to say, hey, look, this is what I'm really good at. This is what comes natural to me. And this is what I'm going to do. And that's when the business became easier. And in fact, not only was the business easier, it was fun. It was something that I enjoyed. And the more fun I had, the more joy I was experiencing doing my work, the more dream clients I was attracting. People who were resonating with me for me being me. That's how you can make your business feel fun. That's how you can make money without, working your ass off. Now, I don't mean to imply, oh, thank you. I don't mean to imply that there is no work, right? There is work to be done. Okay. I only work with clients who will do the work. But what I mean for you to understand here, specifically, again, if you're a coach, if you're an expert, if you're someone who has some expertise that you sell or some information that you're selling, and that's how you're making a living, then this is not hard, right? Making money in this kind of business is not hard. Like, again, everything is relative, right? With the ability that we have to reach clients all over the world, with the ability that we have to set our own fees, to charge based on the value that we provide and not so much the time that we put into serving our clients, this stuff is not hard. And if it feels hard for you, take a look at some of the things I've suggested, right? Because if it's feeling hard and you're really examining, you're really taking a close look at your business model to make sure it's the right business model for you, that you're showing up as you really are, speaking in your own truth, your voice, things like that, offering programs that you really believe in, working with clients that you love. When you're doing all those things, making money is easy. All right. I feel like what so many people do to make business, especially a coaching type of business, to make this harder than it needs to be, is when you're trying a bunch of different strategies, when you're constantly throwing money at shiny objects, when you are constantly getting yourself overwhelmed by information overload. Yeah, that can make it hard. And the question is, why would you do that, right? When this business and making money in this business can be so simple. I'll share with you a personal story. When I first got started, I invested in a very high-level coaching program right out of the gate. This is my fourth business, so I knew that I wanted a coach to support me. And I remember standing up at the microphone after I got a sales script, right? I remember standing up at the microphone in tears because the sales script was like a page long and it was like in big font. So it was like nothing, right? And I read through it and I could not reconcile. I honestly could not wrap my head around the fact that it could be that easy. One page or maybe two. You know what I mean? It was not a lot of a sales script, that it could be that easy to make a lot of money in business, right? Working for myself, right? And I stood up at the microphone and I was in tears and I said to the coach at the time, I said, I can't believe that I have allowed myself to make this so difficult for so long. And a lot of us ambitious women, a lot of us, we're very intellectual, very smart. Sometimes we get in our own way by overcomplicating things. Sometimes we get in our own way by, like I said, chasing those shiny objects, trying to find the next strategy instead of just sticking with what works or working a particular strategy until it works. We tend to get in our way with those kind of things. So the question that I would like for you to ask yourself, if you're experiencing making money as being something hard, as being something as a challenge for you, why are you making it hard for yourself? Why are you holding on to the struggle? Why will you not let that go? I can tell you, for me, it's because I had been taught, I had been conditioned that you had to work hard for money, no exception. Being in business could not be easy. Being in business had to be hard. So when you feel that way, when you have that mindset, when you have that belief, you look for ways to make it hard, right? Instead of looking for ways to make it easy. But when you recognize that there are people out here in this industry making money hand over fist, doing what they love, working with the people that they love, and it's easy for them to do that. Again, easy doesn't mean no work, right? It just means that they choose to allow money to flow to them without having to make it so complicated. They've chosen a very simple business model. Instead of having, let's say, 5 different offers, they have 2, right? 2 ways for people to work with them, or maybe 3 ways for a client to work with them. Less complication. You know exactly who it is that you're targeting, that you want to work with, and you enroll them into your programs, and you keep the ball moving, right? But so many of us overcomplicate the process. So many of us have 5 and 6 and 7 or 8 programs, and you're trying to sell all of them, and you're just driving yourself crazy and creating a lot of overwhelm in your business when it's unnecessary. All right. So again, I'm going to go back to my point, because I like to keep it simple. Making money in this business is easy. You've got to be willing to let it be easy. You've got to be willing to let up the struggle, or let go of the struggle. You've got to be willing to let go of the drama, right? And you've got to be willing to allow yourself to receive. You've got to be willing to say, look, it's okay for me to make a lot of money doing what I love. And if you're not giving yourself that permission, then that's going to make this business feel hard to you, or making money in this business feel hard to you. All right. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Let go of the struggle. Stop making this so difficult, because it doesn't have to be. And if it is difficult for you, take a look at the things that you have in place right now. Take a look at your mindset. Take a look at the business model that you have. Take a look at the strategy that you're employing to attract clients, and what can be done differently to allow for the money to come into you consistently and with ease. All right. That's what I wanted to share with you today. If you have any questions, or you want to get in touch with me personally, you can find me at DesireeStafford.com. Speak to you soon. Take care.